Hey, it's Kirsten Roberts, the Radical Life Mentor, and I'm so stoked. This is my first episode of KRAD TV, and I'm so happy to be with you guys, just sharing with you what a radical life is all about. What does it actually mean? How does that mean how you can live? And just share with you such inspiring examples from around the world of people who choose to live their radical life, whatever it is. You know, there is no one right or wrong. It's just really what makes us happy and joyful and inspired and living in the maximum version of ourselves every single day. And I'm really, really stoked today. My very first guest, so I'm so happy to have on Christopher John Stubbs and his gorgeous wife, Megan Darger from the US. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on, Christopher. You've obviously been an icon in the coaching industry for a long time, and I was really enjoyed when I went to the States recently getting to spend some time with you and get to know you more and get to understand your ethos a bit more, and then through connecting with you, just really seeing how you and Megan support each other, interact each other, really cherish yourself and cherish each other. And so just tell us about you guys. Tell us all about yourselves, because Christopher, obviously you have amazing opportunities for coaches to work with you through one-on-one and group coaching, and of course there's your badass experience. See, Australians can't say ass, so we say ass. So each time I say ass, it just comes out wrong. So your badass experience in the forest, in the jungles and canyons and all sorts of crazy things where it's, you know, just extraordinary experiences and breakthroughs. And Megan, your offer just work with chicks to help them have amazing sort of self-love. So tell us about yourselves.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. Where did you begin? Where did you begin?
So for me, I'll start quickly, and then hopefully I can back off and let her have some spotlight. But really, like you said, it's about doing what we love. And so the first, it's like start with why. Why are you here? And a great question to start with is, how good can you stand life? And so many of us have been conditioned to settle for lives of mediocrity. Many people are settling for lives of quiet desperation even. So typically for me, if you're working a job that you don't love, if you're not in a career or a business of your own that is aligned with your passion and purpose and fully expressing your unique gifts, talents, and abilities in the world, that you would do whether you got paid or not. I think this is a critical foundation to having a truly radical life, is discovering what do I love doing so much that I would do it whether I got paid or not, and that you're getting paid emotionally and spiritually and mentally, just being edified just from what you do, let alone the paycheck that comes from that. Now the good news with that is that that very thing that you're most passionate about and most love doing, that feels so easy and effortless and fun to you, is the thing that provides the maximum value to the world and therefore sets you up to make the most money. So now you're living the most prosperous life while having the most fun, which is, like you mentioned, I do these badass breakthrough adventures and things like this where we're doing the stuff I love to do. We're going out in nature and having adventures and doing these crazy things that I would be doing anyway, but we're making a lot of money doing it by helping others to do the same thing. So that's my first toss around that, and I would love to hear from both of you around that.
Yeah, I find that interesting what you're saying, and that's been a real breakthrough for me because, you know, money, doing things for money has been a really interesting mind shift. So making decisions based on where's the dollar coming in, you know, what leads can I hit so I can get the next lot of cash coming in the door, what workshops do I need to do to bring money in. It was all driven by money, and I'd scurry so hard to get things done, and I'd compromise on my self-care time, I'd compromise on doing the big picture things that really made me happy. It was all this scurry, and it's really only recently that I've seen the light, if you like, but seen how if you do things based on happy, joy, fulfillment, and just you're so filled with passion about it, that's when you're in your most powerful state and you're the creative, visionary person that you can be, putting this enormous value out there. And that's when people are like, fuck, I want to work with that chick. She can change my life. I got to find her, and I've got to pay her a shitload of money because I need her to help me in my life. And it's so liberating.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Megan, how do you feel about, like, when you think about living in your radical life and, you know, nurturing yourself and nurturing your family and your marriage and yourself intellectually, like, how do you view what your radical life's all about?
Perfect way to start, because that's what I was just going into. I feel the best way that you can live a radical life is two things. Is, first of all, just to be you in everything. Be your authentic, true self. Being you in every moment. And the second thing would be to love yourself. I think that's to love and accept yourself radically and profoundly is what we're here to learn. And so for me, that's also been my biggest challenge. But over the last few years and everything that I've experienced, loving myself is the best way to live a radical life. And doing that in everything that I do, doing only what I love, which was also a huge thing that wasn't what I did in the beginning. And there came to a point in our relationship where it was like, oh my gosh, I don't, you know, like doing what I don't love, so why would I ask him to not do what he doesn't love? And then just coming to a space of loving myself through my whole entire journey, through the ups and the downs. It's been incredibly intense and very, very intense. And to love myself through everything, through the highs and through the lows, and now coming to a space of choosing to love in every experience, whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever form of movement that I'm choosing to do, to love my body and to love that, to the way that I nourish my body, to the way that I share my purpose, doing it all through love and self-love.
It can be so hard, though, can't it, to forgive yourself, or to not even forgive yourself, but to acknowledge that all the things that you've been through aren't you making bad decisions or shit decisions or acting irrationally or not thinking or chasing shiny silvery paper or whatever it is, but that it's they're just our experiences, our awesome experiences that take us to this point right now and make us the person who we are. And if we beat ourselves up over that, call our shit on that, then it's like we're downplaying or disempowering who we are right now, because that's really made us. Do you feel that as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. To accept and appreciate everything that I've been through, all of my experiences, that's absolutely. And then loving all those pieces of you that, for me, loving all those pieces that I judged and that I hated and that I thought were wrong or bad. You know, coming to a space of loving and accepting myself just as I am, and that they were all my perfect experience, and I can make a new choice at any point, and I choose to love myself, and I choose happy. That's my radical way.
That's my most profound breakthrough, was understanding choice, that everything in life is a choice. And when it clicked, it was just like, it was literally like weight, burden, anger fell off me. And the time that it clicked was over eating a sausage and bread. And so I have gluten intolerances, and I knew it was going to be sick, and I was sick from it. I still ate it. It's like, and did some processing around why I ate it, and it was because I was out of balance. And then I just had this thing of like, geez, I had a choice when I was out of balance. I could have asked for help. I could have managed the kids a different way, and it was just like, holy fuck, everything is a choice.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a critical piece to what I would describe as being able to live a radical life, which is taking radical responsibility. And when I say responsibility, many people take responsibility as this burden or this weight, which I'm speaking in a different context than that. Many times we associate responsibility with blame, like who's to blame for this? Well, blame is a lower frequency vibration that attracts lower frequency results in our world, and when we're operating out of blame, It's just, it doesn't create optimal results. But when we go to responsibility, and when I say radical responsibility, I mean looking at your life and your results and knowing that you are 100% responsible for every result in your world is critical for creating a life that you would love, that you would say, this is, you know, in a positive context, this is a radical life. This is rad, right? So because anytime we're blaming any result in our world on something outside of ourselves, whether it's, oh, I'm unhappy in this relationship and it's your fault, or, you know, I can't have the health and body that I want because it's the genes my parents passed on to me. Or, you know, anything that we're blaming, you know, I would have had lots of money, but the economy tanked in these years and then it sent me here. Or I would have had, you know, so there's all these ways that we naturally tend to blame our results on life, on our creator, on source, on everything and everybody outside of us. But if you want to live a life of choice, you will take radical responsibility by saying, you know what, I'm responsible for all of it. And it's in life, I don't get what I deserve, I get what I'm committed to. And so I'll first look at, what am I committed to? How did I create this? What is it that I'm wanting to learn from this? And then how can I create what I most want? That way we can truly create a life that we love, doing only what we love every day, every moment, and making that a lifestyle, making that our norm, so that rather than having a half-assed life where we need a vacation from it, or a life that we don't really love, that we're just tolerating and hoping that someday we'll die, hopefully sooner than later, or many people, I believe, are even killing themselves slowly. We consider, you know, putting a gun to your throat a bad thing typically socially, like it's bad to kill yourself, but how many people are smoking themselves to death and eating themselves to death and not honoring their bodies and living in shitty relationships and dying of cancer because of the way they feed their body and their mind and their spirit and their soul? So how many people are actually killing themselves that aren't putting a gun or swallowing a bunch of pills or whatever else, versus choosing a life that they love? And my last plug on that one is, I believe sincerely, if everyone were doing what they loved, we would have world peace. So right now you've got a 60-something percent obesity rate in the United States. I'm not sure what it's like in Australia. You got a 60-something percent divorce rate. We've got wars going constantly, everyone attacking and wanting to kill each other. Well, shit, if all we did was learn how to meditate and shut the hell up and love ourselves like the beautiful goddess of self-love is teaching us, and doing what we loved in life, all that shit would go away. And instead of me coming home and complaining about how hard my day is, I come home and I celebrate how amazing it was to do what I loved and bless people's lives so tremendously, and she shares the same. And then maybe we make love instead of making war. And when we get our shit together here, the world will get this shit together out there. It starts here first.
Yeah, I love that. That is so awesome. So, but what do you say to the people who go, yeah, that's fine to say, but I've got a plan for the worst. You know, I've got a plan for what if this doesn't happen, or I've got to put food on the table. I can't just make decisions around, you know, love and peace and joy. You guys are talking fucking Fruit Loop. Like, what do you, and there, I was, you know, in that spot, not that it was Fruit Loop, but it was, I couldn't see how that could happen, how my life could change, probably like 6 or 8 months ago. So tell me, how do people actually go from that thought of, right, I'm doing everything based on what I should do and what I'm expected to do and what the family needs to do, as opposed to living in radical self-love, happiness, joy, and nourishing yourself and everybody and those most important people with you?
Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll hear from her in a minute. So here's my first take on that. One is, the way I did it was I kind of quit cold turkey. I just was operating my own company, hired a coach. My coach helped me identify that I had a passion, a purpose, a genius, and to aligning with that and aligning that with my spiritual path and making a lot of money doing what I love instead of sacrificing my life for money. And when I looked back, I felt like I had literally been operating my life as a whore. I had been trading my life and my time and my everything for money. I've been doing stuff I didn't love for money, which is no different than a whore doing shit she don't love for money. So I was a whore, and it felt pretty shitty to face into that. Well, what I did was quit cold turkey, my previous career and business, sold it all off, and jumped into the new career. Well, then I suffered and struggled for year after year as I learned new skill sets and mindsets and upgraded my environment and had all these new things that allowed me to step up. And it was an incredibly hard journey. And if you're weak at heart, you don't have absolute tenacity, you're not 1,000% committed, which there's no such thing, so just truly 100% committed, then don't even try it. Just stay doing what you're doing and be miserable and die. But if you want to have an amazing life, my suggestion for most people, if you're in a miserable environment, take the leap. And if you struggle through it and you just know you're never going to commit or give up, you're committed no matter what, just take the leap, even if it is hard, because it's so worth it. But if your career is decent and you're not going to kill yourself if you stay in it for 3, 6, 12 more months or 24 more months while you get your feet underneath you, what you can do is create a smooth transition from just begin to invest in a mentor or a coach that can show you the ropes, teaching you new skill sets and mindsets that will allow you to do the new thing you want to do. For instance, if you were to, say, want to climb Mount Everest, you would be pretty stupid to try to climb Mount Everest on your own right here, right now, with your current conditioning, your current knowledge. Almost anyone listening to this call, 99.99% of people listening to this call right here, right now, do not have the capacity, the training, the conditioning, the mindsets, the skill sets, the support team they need to climb Mount Everest and survive it, let alone have an enjoyable experience. So yes, when you're talking about you've been conditioned from your parents, from society, from everything in your world for as long as you can remember to get a good education, get a good job, and keep up with the Joneses in the status quo, it's one hell of a leap to say, I'm going to forge my own destiny, take 100% responsibility, launch my own business, discover my passion and purpose, figure out how to package that, price it, market it, sell it, and stay that course no matter how many tidal waves hit me, no matter how many trains hit me, no matter how many times I get knocked on my ass, I'm going to get there. That's one hell of a journey. Now, if you took the time right now and said, you know what, in a couple of years, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, and I'm going to develop a game plan, I'm going to hire a mentor or a coach, a guide, who's been up and down Mount Everest and guided hundreds of people up and down it for years and years and decades. They know it like the back of their hand. They do it successfully, and what would take me 10 years to figure out how to do on my own, they can help me do in the next year or so by teaching me the right mindsets and skill sets and game plan and approach and technology and tools and equipment and acclimation and everything to do with it, and condition my body and everything so that not only can I do it, I will survive, and I'll probably have a good time, and it will expand me into being the greater person that I'm meant to be anyway. Now you've got a successful story, and rather than spending 10 years to get there and going through all the pitfalls that person, the guide went through to be able to do that in the first place, that guide can help you save all the wrong tracks and trails and bullshit mistakes and shorten the journey, make it so much easy, so much more safe, and so much more enjoyable. But just start to allocate. Do what you're doing, make money, set it aside, invest in yourself. The number one investment you'll ever make is right here in your ability to upgrade this operating system that allows you to live a radical life.
Oh, I love that analogy of climbing a mountain. It's perfect. It's perfect. I've heard you talk before, Christopher, about the mind being like an operating system, and we upgrade our operating systems for our computers and our phones and so forth all the time, but this operating system just stays on the same track the entire time. So, Megan, from a real self-love perspective, you know, really cherishing yourself and loving yourself from a really deep place, what were the first steps you took to start doing that and to start recognizing your amazingness as your own person?
One of the things that I would say that I did, and for anybody out there, is to stop doing the shit that you don't love and start doing the things that you do love. And and in whatever that is. If that's like, oh, I want to go read a book, but I don't have time to read a book, or I don't, you know, I got too much to do, go pick up a book that you want to do and go do the things that you love. And then in the beginning, just being gentle with myself. It's a process and it's a journey, and you know, sometimes I would beat myself up, or you know, for you know, this is taking too long, or oh, I can't do this, and constantly recommitting to loving myself, recommitting to taking baby steps, and I agree with what he says. You know, one of the biggest things is getting a mentor, getting somebody who can support you along the way, and it doesn't have to be this big leap, though that's kind of how we roll.
Yeah, me too.
You can do it by taking baby steps, and it can be an easy, enjoyable journey. Again, it's a choice to love yourself. It's going to be a choice to make it easy, you know, choose easy, and a choice to choose happy, and it can be fun, and it can be easy.
Yeah, and that's so powerful to know that. And, you know, I came from the same place. I knew there was more. I knew I was holding myself back. I knew the way I thought about things wasn't right, but I didn't know the way out of it, couldn't see it. And I was like, okay, who's the best person that can help me? And went and found my mentor, Marcy, who has really just turned my life upside down and shown me a whole new way of thinking. And it's fucking awesome. So guys, awesome. I want to thank you so much for your time today. It's been really inspiring to see people living that life that it's all about happy, joy, awesome, fulfilled, passion, and that sort of influences everything. You know, it's just when we actually can take that on board and acknowledge that we can have it all. There is none of this, you know, if you have a good career, you've got to sacrifice balance. Or if you have a good career, you can't have a good body because you can't have the time to exercise. You know, there is none of that. We can have it all. We choose to have it all. And when you do, and you go there and you grow, and you, like Christopher said, you grow, you hit some walls, you come back, you reframe, you relearn, you go again and you go further, then you keep growing every day, and then eventually it starts coming from the heart and living intrinsically through you. And it's just an awesome feeling when you can get to that point and live in joy, and people go, what the fuck is she on? Because I want some of that. So guys, thank you so much. Tell us how, Christopher and Megan, tell us how they can get in contact with you if they'd love to come and talk to you about some of your experiences or some of your coaching.
Awesome. So you can find both of us on Facebook. You can find Megan at Megan Darger on Facebook. You can find me as Christopher John Stubbs on Facebook. We have very active Facebook profiles, especially me. Megan shares amazing tidbits and information on how to love yourself and build that true foundation that is the foundation to all success. If you don't know how to love yourself, you won't allow yourself to be truly successful in your relationships, your health, your finances, or any level of life whatsoever. The true foundation, really there's two key pillars: unconditional love, impeccable integrity. And so the things she shares on there are absolutely priceless. And then I share all kinds of tidbits on business and relationships and health. I believe to truly have it all, you handle 4 different main pillars. One is your spirituality and purpose. Another is your relationships and parenting. Another is your health and your fitness. And then another one is your business and finances. So if you're thriving in all 4 of those, you're going to thrive in every aspect of life. But I share all kinds of tips and videos. I have a free group on Facebook called Limitless Legion that you can join for free and get free content and get a taste of what we're up to. It's phenomenal community with lots of free content. I have paid groups, group coaching, online coaching that people from all over the world do, and then also high-end one-on-one stuff. So if you private message me on Facebook or join Limitless Legion or just follow and friend request me on Facebook, those are great original sources to get in touch with me. If you want to research me even more deeply, you can go to ascendyourlimits.com, and that's my website and blog, and you'll see basically that you are limitless and that the sky is not the limit. Your brain is the only limit, and that's something that you can upgrade and change. at any time.
I love it. Thanks so much, guys. What an awesome thing to finish on. So if you want to get in touch with me, go and check out my website, kirstenroberts.com. Register for some videos that talk you through how you are using the thoughts in your head and the stories you're telling yourself to hold you back, and how things like your relationship with money is constraining you living in your full joy. So I hope you've loved this first episode of KRAD TV. It's been awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for being on. So I just want you all to be real, be rad, be free. We'll catch you later.
Peace.